Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Agave Talk, your number one source for everything agave. We appreciate you being here with us today. Today, I have video 2 of 3 or 4. Haven't decided yet. Well, let me bring it up. Tequila Centinela. Yes, we got Tequila Centinela, the Reposado. If you were here last week, and thank you if you subscribed as well, I reviewed the Blanco. Next week, I'm doing the Añejo, and then I'm deciding if I'm going to do an entire vertical flight, separate video, or just put it at the end of the Añejo, but I'm probably going to make a separate video. However, today I am reviewing the Reposado. Yes, this is the brand new square bottle. If you do subscribe to the channel, you do know then I have reviewed the Clasico. This is their wine style bottle. Kind of looks like a Tabasco sauce. Sorry if you see it and you can't unsee it. My apologies. But yes, I have the Reposado here and the brand new square bottles here. And like I did with the Blanco, I actually put these side by side and compared them. Hey, is there a truly difference? Is it just the rebranding? And from the Blanco, I did find a difference. Go watch that video so you can see the taste and aroma is completely different. Really cool. And I'm curious, is the Reposado going to be the same? So I'm going to move the Clasico bottle out, and then the focus is back here. They are branding this short bottle, the Reposado, the Añejo as well, in a box, right? So we got the story of the brand back here. They've been around since 1904, founded in 1904. This is an 18-month Reposado, all right? Used bourbon barrels, and it's 40% and 750 mil. So without further ado, let me actually open this up to get directly into it. Oh, that's nice on the inside there. Hold on, look at this, look at this. Just some of the little details, right? That goes all the way down. That's super nice, I like that. So back to the bottle itself, this is it, the square bottle. And when comparing to the Clasico, and it may be the lighting, I think it's just the lighting, or nah, I'm gonna see when I get it in cup. It does look like the new square bottle. It's a tiny bit darker than this. Go watch this review. This is up on the channel, right? But looking at this, you know, from the Blanco, there was a clear difference in both the aroma and the taste. So I'm curious about the Reposado, but you all know, if you do follow the channel, Reposados are my least favorite expression. I usually go Blanco and extra Añejos, right? Blancos being my favorite. But Reposados, there are some that are surprising. So you can see the branding here, Tequila Centinela, 1904 when they were founded. Some of the regulatory stuff for sure, the front label there. And then what was on the back, there we go, getting in focus real quick. What was on the back of that box is the story here, and it's just kind of the story of Casa Centinela, and you can read that for a second. And yeah, overall, I mean, hey, I'm jumping right on into this. I've gone in depth into the brand in the original videos for the Clásicos, and usually in the Blanco as well, and I did in the Blanco just because it's the start of that progression, that vertical flight. And that fourth video is going to be the Blanco Reposado Añejo head to head, and we'll go from there. So with that being said, let me take the plastic off. This is just a screw top. We got the neck band right there just going up on one side, and it is a screw, so let your bottles unscrew, and that's it. So just a plastic screw top. Let me get my glass out, and thanks for being here. If you have not done so already, please hit that like and subscribe, as well as follow us on Instagram at Agave Talk, all right? So I have that poured out, and what I'm going to do, because I already know I'm going to jump right on into it, let's do this as well. I'm going to put this to the side. I am going to bring the Clasico out, and yeah, even on this side, before they were flip-flop, this does look just a tiniest bit lighter. This is a screw top as well, and let's see. Really enjoy doing these videos because not only am I, get a little bit of extra pours in there, you really get to taste the nuances. And if you are coming from, let's say, the wine world, right? The reality is tequila's a plant. And it's such a plant where the terroir matters, where it's grown matters, how much rain they got matters, right? Was there a drought that year? Was there extra rain? What's the environmental impacts, right? Because that plant is then adapting and growing. It takes, 7, 8, 9, 10 years for these plants to mature. And that's every single time, there's going to be tiny differences. I mean, if you take a very well-known, huge brand, new bottle now compared to, 10, 20 years from ago, not only maybe the production methods are going to change, but those plants are going to be completely different. So even something like this with the production methods, if they are exactly the same, there is still going to be some sort of differences just because of the naturalness of it. All right. Centinela is something I do keep around. It does and shines greatly through cocktails because it does have that agave forward flavor. And the reposado, seriously, even though reposados are not my favorite expression, I do keep this often, especially when I am making mixed drinks, because it's something you can drink neat, but it's also something that's not going to break the bank, and it's going to make a solid cocktail with the agave that can shine through. Centinela, hats off for sure. But let's dive into the square bottle first. But actually, you know what? No, let's see. Man, yeah, it does. And it's on camera, off camera, even off camera as well. It does. The Classico looks just the tiniest bit lighter. And off the top of my head, I can't remember how many months this is aged, but this is an 18-month reposado, right? And looking at this, the legs and tiers on this, it's pretty sticky. You can see it right there going across, right? It might get out of focus, but going across and in the back, that is pretty sticky as compared then to the Classico, a thinner line. It's definitely a thinner line than the square bottle. It was much thicker for sure. And looking at that, trying to get it, you can see it out of focus, like in the back. You can see it all the way in the back there, right? Whoops, cheers. But that's even too, that's sticky. Both of these, pretty sticky. And that straw, golden straw color. But the Classico is just that tiniest bit lighter than the square bottle. So let's do aroma. Okay, 18-month used bourbon oak barrels. Okay. In the square bottle, you're not getting a lot of agave on there. This has definitely been rested, and that oak is definitely shining through more than the agave itself. Some hints of vanilla, but it's not vanilla in a manipulated kind of way. But I'd be curious, what bourbon are they using for that? But it's definitely just a light wood, but it's there. Some pepper, white pepper, mixed with some black pepper. But it's definitely wood dominant, and even kind of like, is that cinnamon? And I think maybe that's where that balance of like black and white pepper was coming from. That's cinnamon. This is then where if you had like a stick of cinnamon for sure, or maybe even the shaker on a budget, put it side by side. And that's where you can really get some of those aromas. But it's just kind of, it's a nice spice. It's definitely a nice, even like allspice, maybe. Like, it's kind of, no, that's cinnamon. That is very cinnamon. But natural. Again, it's kind of like wood. It's woody, it's natural, and it's nothing that tastes, I haven't tasted it yet. It's nothing that smells manipulated and or additive. That's just nice. That's nice, definitely. And all I'm now thinking is cinnamon. I can't get it out, and that's all I'm smelling now. Well, back to the Classico. Cheers. And the Classico itself, oh, much lighter. Definitely much lighter. Oh, yeah, much lighter in the cinnamon, but it's there. But it's oak, but it's lighter, really. And it's funny because the Blanco, the two were completely different for me, for sure. And oh my gosh, for one was more vegetal, one was more, oh, I forget. I gotta go back. Go watch that video. But they were clearly two distinctly different just flavors and aromas. Whereas this Reposado, ooh, now that oak is really shining through. Some of that ethanol is coming off, and there was really no ethanol on this, but that oak is now really shining through. Whereas this, it smells very much similar, just lighter. This smells a bit more concentrated in its flavor, whereas the Clásico is definitely lighter across all categories. Lighter in the wood, lighter in the cinnamon, lighter in the spice. But there is still little hints of agave in there, for sure. That's interesting, whereas... Oh, yeah. Whereas the square bottle, I'm not really... It's really the wood and cinnamon that's dominating that aroma. Whereas, yeah, the Clásico, I am getting more hints of actual cooked agave when compared to the square bottle. That's so interesting. I love it. And this is why if you do have a new bottle, an bottle, old versus new, one vintage to the next year after year, you're going to smell some differences. Put them head to head. Definitely check it out. All right. So I've definitely spent a long time talking about the aromas. It's just, oh, so interesting. And as they open up, they just keep getting better. Both of those, no ethanol, which is great, but we're about to dive into the square bottle first, right? Cheers. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Okay. So aroma-wise, not a lot of agave on this. But taste-wise, I'm getting more agave on the palate than I'm actually than was in the nose for sure. It's a nice balance. That wood is shining through, but man, no ethanol whatsoever. But that cinnamon now, and even kind of as it's going down, it's a nice play, a nice balance of the wood, the 18-month right aging in that bourbon barrel. And then that cinnamon, but you're getting some agave in there. Let me take another sip. There's some chocolate. There's some chocolate on there, way in the back. And it's long. It's a long finish. This is, oh man, it is making my tongue feel good. It's definitely there, and that smoke, it's got kind of a smoke to it. And the chocolate, it's funny because I wanted to go say chocolate, but smoke came out, and now that I think about it, it's got a hint. I think that's just like the chocolate with the wood playing together. Let's try the Clásico. Oh yeah. Much later in flavor, and this is interesting because the agave flavor on this is turned down a little bit, and I actually got more vanilla on the front of the Clásico than in the square bottle, whereas I was getting an aroma more vanilla here, and here I was really not getting any. Oh man, that's interesting. I love it for sure. Let me go back to the Clásico. Okay. And let me go back to the square. Wow. The square, definitely longer finish. It's kind of in the aroma too. I was saying this is a little bit lighter. And even this had a little bit thicker to the legs and tiers. It just feels a bit more full body. So if that makes sense to you, this definitely has a bit more body than the Clásico when we're talking about taste for sure. And this overall, it just has a little bit more wood. It has a little bit more of that agave, and it definitely has a little bit more of just kind of overall flavor, the spice, the cinnamon, right? Some of the pepper. This overall, and it's I believe, if I'm trying to go back, the Blanco, I believe I was taking the Clásico Blanco over the square bottle, but in this case, I'm taking the square bottle over the Clásico for sure. So it seems like they made a refine their recipe a little bit, but overall, this is pretty solid, man. Centinela cheers, hats off. Always keep you guys in the house. And I'm very curious then to try that añejo next week. Stay tuned for that. And then finally, that vertical flight. I am going to finish both of these. And with that being said, I truly appreciate you being here. Don't forget, hit that like and subscribe, as well as follow us on Instagram at Agave Talk. All right? Take care, everybody.